Welcome back, guys. Thanks for joining me for another beer review. We're heading over to North Wales again with this one, and we're doing another beer that I picked up the other day. It's from Bragdy Brewing Company, or Bragdy Brewing, and we are taking a look at their Eilian. I think that's how you say it. I'm probably wrong, so somebody's bound to correct me. This is a pale ale coming in at 4.5%, I believe. 440ml can. 6 cans for 20 quid. It should have been 21.60, about the £3.50 mark, something like that. A beautiful artwork, that is what I will say about these cans. Beautiful artwork on there, and a lovely small family run little microbrewery. So yeah, if you are around this area, sort of Gallowin Industrial Estate, I believe it's on, Anglesey, or even North Wales coast, go and pay these guys a visit. Bragdy Brewing, cracking lot. So anyway, let's get it into a glass because I'm waffling. Still away, as you can tell. The beer's not perfectly chilled, it's got to be said, but do you know what I've decided I might do? You know, you can buy them little fridges you can plug in that you get about 6 cans in. Might treat myself to one of them and bring it away with me when I do this, and then I can put it on and get some bloody beer in there. So only brought me all the beer, no idea glass. It's probably not perfectly clean. I know it won't be. It's not nucleated, so I'm expecting, well, most of all I am struggling to get a decent head on it. These ones have been all right, to be fair. I think they're quite well carbonated. There's a bit left in the can. There was a few bubbles stuck on the side. So looking at it, your side, it's looking very deep amber, but it's not. It's a hazy, sort of golden looking colour. As it says, actually, it says sort of like, well, Golal pale. Could just be pale. I kind of think golden pale, but it's golden in colour. It's hazy. Quite a big, spacious head as well. Just over a finger, spacious head. Seems to be a theme that the heads on their beers don't seem to be very tight. I like a nice compact head on my beer, but not to worry. So yeah, looks all right. Like I say, there's a bit left in the can. That may well change when I get it in. In fact, let's get it in. It's bound to change a bit. Bound to go a bit hazier. Yeah, that's gone a little bit hazier. So yeah, let's dive in with the nose and see what we get. Just quickly, yeah, it doesn't give any hops away. It just says brewed in Wales, ingredients: malted barley, hops, yeast, water. So let's go in for with the nostrils and have a sniff. Yeah, I mean, hoppy, tropical. The aromas are very sort of standard aromas from a pale ale these days. But it doesn't smell bad. It doesn't smell bad. It does smell like it has a little bit more than your average sort of tropical hazy pale ale. Anyway, dive in. Bragdy Brewing, and this is their Eilian, I believe, something like that. Pale ale, 4.5%. Let's dive in. Cheers, everyone. It's quite interesting, that, actually, because I was getting sort of tropical notes on the nose, and that's certainly from that first mouthful. That's not what I'm getting, but we'll come to the tasting notes after. .5%. Ooh, there's a lovely resinous in there. 4.5%. It drinks like a standard 4.5% beer. It's a hazy pale ale. You won't expect it to be too heavy. I might be being harsh. It does feel a little bit light, but that could just be me. I'm not gonna. It's certainly not wishy-washy, watery, but it does feel quite light. Carbonation Again, it's one of them that feels quite busy, but carbonation isn't something that goes nuts in this glass in particular. So even though it is a little bit busy, I think the glass is sort of keeping it in check a little bit. So it's not too overpowering. It probably does need that sort of carbonation to sort of just give it a bit of a lift. It does make it a little bit tingly and a little bit prickly on the mouthfeel. The actual liquid is quite smooth on the taste. And now this is getting quite interesting. I mean, it does look quite dark. Certainly looks darker your side than mine, if you like. In fact, no, it's not going to show any different for you. I do get a light malty backbone to this, but the thing that I got from the start, and I'm still getting it, and it's quite interesting with it being a hazy pale ale at 4.5. It's got a resinous to it. It's got a hoppy resinous, and I like that. But it's also got bitterness that sort of comes in the more you drink it, and it does linger. Pardon me. Oily, hoppy. I want to say it's a pine resinous, but it's almost pine grapefruit a little bit. Like I said, you sort of got tropical notes on the nose. I'm not getting any sort of tropical note in the taste. It's dank. It leaves you dry on the back end. That oily resinous leaves you dry. It's an interesting one. 4.5%. If somebody told you this was 5%, I think with the flavours in the beer, I think you could quite easily believe them. I think you'd be a little bit disappointed with the body at 5%. It probably just about gets away with the body at 4.5% maybe. But yeah, it's quite interesting because it's got some bold flavours there, but it's also quite simple in its flavours. That normally you will get, what you get for me is a big resinous taste from the hops, subtle maltiness literally right at the start, just before the hops, and that resinous really sort of kicks in. Tails off to a bitterness, which could be a little bit of grapefruit bitterness, but actual standout flavours, I wouldn't say there's a massive amount going on in there. But what do I think of it? It's a tough one. It's a tough one. It's not my favourite one out of the three that I've had so far, but it's an interesting one, and it's certainly not bad. It's certainly got more than something else, but how can I put it? I don't know. It just feels like there's just a little bit extra that could be in this beer that would sort of lift it a bit more. But it's by no means bad. It's certainly got a lot more than a supermarket hazy pale. What I'm picking up with this now, actually, lemon, lime, them sort of citrus notes are in there as it happens. That's maybe, I'm getting the pine sort of resinous, maybe a bit of grapefruit on the end, but I'm picking up a zesty sort of lemon and lime thing in it now, which is quite ironic because I've literally just sat there and said there's no flavours in this, and I'm just picking them up now. So I think maybe some flavours more overpowering than others. As your palate adjusts, maybe the other flavours sort of start kicking in. I think that's what I'm getting from this. But yeah, it's not a bad drop, to be fair. It's not a bad drop. I wouldn't say it's wowing me, but it's certainly a decent beer. It reminds me a little bit of a pinter brew, to be honest. A little bit, but yeah, decent drop. Give it a go. Like I say, if you're up sort of Anglesey way or by Gurwyn Industrial Estate, North Wales, anywhere, give it a go. Small family business. Show them some love. Show them some support, and at least go and buy 6 different beers off them, just to give them some help. So yeah, there you go. There's my thoughts on that beer. If you've had this before, let me know what you think. Feel free to comment. Thank you all for watching. I have waffled on way too long, and I'll see you again soon on another one. Cheers.